So if you take a close look, our gardens are actually slowly starting to wake up. And I actually think it's a great time to get out here and not only just see what's happening, but also start to little by little do a little bit of work out here. Because after such a long and harsh winter like we have had here in New Jersey, doing just a little bit can actually go a long way and make a really big impact and help set you up for the future gardening season. So today I'm going to work through one of my lower garden beds, take you through what I'm doing, what I'm looking at, and also talk through 5 common things that I've seen beginner gardeners do in terms of making a mistake this time of year, which really didn't help them for the future season. I've actually done a lot of these myself and have learned through experience and some trial and error, and hopefully you guys can benefit from some of my mistakes. So let me take you through. So the first mistake is just starting way too late. And I'm not going to get into this too much because I actually talked about this a lot in my last video, which I will go ahead and link up here in the cards above if you want to go ahead and check that out. But the thing is, there's so much information out there in terms of when to start cleaning up and when not to clean up your garden, and how much of the beneficial insects that you could potentially be hurting or some of the wildlife, that it can get really, really tricky and really, really confusing. And honestly, it really makes it sound like it's an all or nothing thing. Like you shouldn't be touching anything in your garden until things are above a certain temperature. And I think it really gives a really false impression in terms of what gardening is really about. In my experience, the best time to start is dependent on many factors. It's dependent on what your schedule looks like, what your timeline looks like, your family life, things of that nature, as well as how fast you work. For example, I knew that I could zip through this garden a lot faster 6-7 years ago than I can now. So that is actually something that I take into account. Also, your zone and the weather outside. If you have really, really harsh weather still happening in March and April, then obviously that's a factor as well. So those are the things that really you want to take into account. It's a lot easier to come out here earlier in the season and spend 15-20 minutes out here once a week, twice a week, however often you have, than dedicating 2 entire weekends in March during the height of the season as things really start blooming. And even then, you don't necessarily feel like you're ever really in control of your garden. Point number 2, what exactly can you be doing right now? So the main things that I'm going to be doing today, and I'll take you through, is cutting back things such as hellebores or anything that doesn't have a hollow stem. The hollow stem is really where your beneficial insects kind of live. I'm going to be looking at the health of the plants that I can see, anything that hasn't obviously died back to the ground. I'm going to take a look to see what's already popping up. And I'm going to just do a general sweep through in terms of picking up anything that looks diseased or mushy and things of that nature. So I am going to start cleaning up this coreopsis right here for a couple different reasons. There really isn't any hollow stems in here that would be good for the pollinators to hibernate in, so I'm not necessarily concerned about that. I did leave it up over winter for the seed heads because it does feed the birds and the wildlife, but if I'm looking at the seed heads, they're pretty much just empty seed pods at this point, so there really isn't much that would be beneficial to them as anymore. The other reason why is, well, a couple of more reasons. It's right by my driveway, so it's prime real estate for everybody to see, so I do want to make it look a little bit nicer. I'm also starting to see some bulbs pop through around here, and once those bulbs emerge and grow, they tend to grow really, really fast at this time of year. It would kind of be very difficult for me to get in there through that new growth if I wait too long and try to pull out any of the dead from here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start cleaning it up. Now, other things that I continue to look for are weeds. You always want to make sure you pull them because it's amazing that weeds even are growing in the winter. So the next thing that I'm going to clean up is this hellebore. And you're going to notice I'm not necessarily cutting back or cleaning up everything, which is really my second point. It's not an all or nothing. You don't necessarily need to cut back everything. You don't need to leave everything. It's basically being selective in terms of what you're doing. Something like a coreopsis or something that is really matted down to the ground, like that pile of leaves that I had previously cleaned up. Your hellebores, which are really starting to bloom now, but have these really tattered leaves that make them look bad and you can't see the blooms from them. All those types of things can be cleaned up now to make things look a lot better as you go along. Also check your lighting. Your lighting may have actually been broken or totally covered up by mulch and dirt throughout the winter. So make sure to expose that. Now, one of the other common mistakes that I've seen people make is not walking through their garden early enough and just making general observations. For example, I am noticing a lot of deer damage around. I'm noticing a lot of buck rub, things broken down. I'm noticing my tulips start to pop up with some of their heads already being nibbled, which means that I need to get out here and start spraying immediately because the wildlife is very, very hungry and I don't necessarily want them eating things that they shouldn't be eating. So that's one of the biggest things. And then making sure that things that are broken in terms of branches or things like that are trimmed off appropriately so that they're not attracting diseases early on in the season. Now, the other thing I'm looking for is any sort of deer damage or wildlife damage from any new growth that is starting to pop up, which I'm starting to see right here. So you can see, because they're hungry, they're already starting to nibble on things, even things that they wouldn't normally nibble on. So I'm going to have to get out here and spray once I'm done with the cleanup. Lots of broken branches. All right, now this is a Coosa dogwood that I planted last year, and I want to check to make sure that it's made it through the winter. The way I check is to make sure that the branches are still pliable, nothing is dry, which everything looks to be okay. You can even scratch the bark a little bit to see if you see any green underneath. So everything looks to be good. The other thing that is very promising is if you look up close, you will start to see swelling buds in terms of where the flowers and the leaves are going to come out. So everything looks to be really healthy from that standpoint. So right now is a really great time to be checking for those types of things as well. All right, the last thing that I'm going to do is go ahead and start spraying to make sure that any of the tulip bulbs that are starting to pop up aren't going to be eaten by some of the creatures. But you will notice this was not about perfection. There's still plenty of things that are still standing. There's still leaves in the bed, and that's okay. This isn't about doing a full-blown cleanup and making sure that the bed is spotless. This is really about just slowly starting to get the bed prepped in time for when things are blooming and in time for when the mulch needs to be placed. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to stick around. I have more videos just like this. In fact, check this out up here, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.